farmers here in Maine, we did not have clear records of the history of our own fields and how they were managed before us. This February, we learned from the DEP that a significant part of our growing land had a history of spreading of sludge, and a subsequent water test in our home well came back with levels of PFAS 100 times higher than the safe drinking water standards. In a matter of weeks, our business went from forecasting for record growth in 2022 to insecurity about being able to pay our bills or to see a path forward for this season. The pride and confidence we had that we were feeding our families and our local community safe and healthy food has been crushed. We pulled our crops off the market and started drinking bottled water, and even refrained from giving Bass to our 19-month-old because we were afraid we wouldn't be able to keep her from drinking the tub water. Our farm is currently in a state of limbo in a time of year when we should be starting our tomato and onion seedlings. We don't even know if we have a place to plant them. The lack of any current guidelines of acceptable thresholds for PFAS in vegetable crops and the huge delays in getting soil and crop testing is putting our entire business at risk. Thankfully, the DEP has installed all the water filtrations in our house, or filtration systems in our house, and the Department of Ag has been hugely responsive in trying to help support affected farmers. But the scope of these effects and the findings go way beyond what any agency can do alone or be able to really compensate us for the long-term consequences for our farm and our family. And the potential outright shuttering of our business. The levels of PFAS in our drinking water that we've been drinking for 10 years, nursing and raising our daughter on, is highly likely to have long-term health consequences that we don't really know, and we don't really know what those are going to be. The contamination of our soils will dramatically limit our ability to grow food crops on these affected fields. The value of our property overnight went from being one of our only assets to potentially being a huge liability, an unsellable piece of land that we couldn't even, if we needed to restart, we wouldn't know how to do that. The hopes and dreams of passing all of this hard work and sweat equity onto our daughter for her to enjoy for generations to come has been put at risk and is more of a risk than an asset. These reasons we're standing here today, though, is not just to share our sob story, but to push the legislature to act to stop this continual spreading of sludge so there aren't more farmers like us standing before you, or more rural Mainers finding out their health and their family's health have been compromised by PFAS contamination in their wells. The effects are not only felt by the group of farmers, but the trickle-down effect goes to thousands of our customers that we farmers here represent or feed, and the broader effects of the vibrant local food economy from the restaurant boom in Portland to the fact that collectively as the farm standing here before you have been putting thousands of dollars into food pantries and soup kitchens through this COVID pandemic, helping with local food security. We're not saying that there won't be a financial cost to eliminating the spread of sludge or composting it, but the cost of not passing LD 1911 will be much higher, with Mainers paying the price of poisoned wells, loss of livelihoods, loss of local food security, and huge cleanup costs the state is projected to see. We urge the legislature to pass LD 1911 so there isn't yet another generation of Maine farmers and rural community members that have to bear the brunt of these